All right. So what about my range? It a bottom only because I cannot restrain at the top because it keeps on going, right? So what's my bottom? 1, 2, and 3. So this would be bracket 3 to positive infinity. Very good. I'm going back to my domain. Can I restrain? No. Can I restrain? No. So this one would be negative infinity to positive infinity. I'm going to show you also, you can write it like this. And that means all real numbers. Alrighty? So if you don't want to write negative 8, negative 8, negative infinity to positive infinity, you can also write that, and that means all real numbers. Alrighty? Alright. Can I restrain my domain? Here, but not. There you go. Okay, so 1, 2, and not 3. Negative 3, and that's a bracket for negative 3, but a positive infinity with a very good. What about my range? Can I restrain at the top? No. So it starts where? On 1. Good job. On 1 all the way to positive infinity. Very good. 1 to positive infinity. Good job, babies. All right, can I restrain on my domain? No, because it has the arrows that keeps on going and going. So all real numbers? All right, what about my range? I can restrain here, but I cannot restrain at the bottom, right? So that would be negative 1 and negative 2 to negative infinity? Yes? All right. Oh, this one's easy. I love it when they have arrows on both sides because, can I restrain? No, I cannot. So all real numbers and all real numbers, right? From negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, now look at this one. Be careful with this one. Because what's the first thing that was the first thing that I noticed when I saw it. But of course I have a little bit more experience than you guys. I don't know more math, I just have more experience with it. So what do you notice about this graph? There's two different graphs. Very good. And are they touching or is there a lap between them? There's a very good. There's something that's empty between them, right? So that's why I first noticed that there was two, and then I noticed that this part over here didn't seem to be covered by any of the two graphs, right? So for my domain, which is right and left, right? What can I say? I think it's everything except for what? For x equals 2. Very good. So it's all real numbers for the exception that x cannot be equal to 2. Now, can I restrain on my range? No. Say it, say it. No. Very good. So that would be all real numbers. Alrighty? Yay? Alright, so for this one, we went over the exit ticket yesterday, right? And the homework, so we don't have to do that. Awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and we got to figure out the domain, which would be right and left. Or if you don't want to write the little arrow, just make sure that you have your domain card right in front of you, right? So you know that you're looking for domain, and you don't have this one out so you don't get confused, okay? So I'm looking for right and left. So in order... All right, but thank you. All right, so in order for me to figure out what the domain is, I first need to graph it, right? So let's go ahead, and I showed you yesterday how to do this. And for those of you that went to summer camp, should remember. So I'm going to go ahead and clear it. 2nd plus 7, 1 and 2. I'm going to go to y equal to, and I'm going to write that. 2nd square root of x. And then I only want the square root of x inside the square root, which means I got to jump out. So you're going to go to the right. And then you're going to say plus 2. And then I want to see how it looks like so that I can figure out my domain, right? My domain. So I'm going to hit in graph. And that domain looks like it starts where? Domain. Domain. The range starts at 2. On the domain, do you look at X or do you look at Y? You look at X, you're looking at Y. So it starts at 0 and it goes all the way to what? To positive infinity. So what would be your answer? C. There you go. All right, let's do number 8. On number 8, I'm looking for the range. So that would be up and down. So that would be this cards over here, the ones that say up and down. All right. So let's see. I'm looking for a range of negative infinity all the way to 4. So let's start with the first one. Let's go to y equal to, clear that out. Negative parentheses x minus 4. And then close the parentheses and put that square. This is where you put the square, right there. Right here. Right there. Right there. All right, so once you have that, we're going to go ahead and graph. All right, so again, I'm looking for range, right? So range is up and down. So what is this range? From 0 to whatever. I don't have a 0 over here, so stop talking. So this is not it, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Y equals to 3 x minus 4 and then square. I should have inserted. Oops, sorry. It'll be okay. I'll show you how to do it later. And then I'm going to graph, right? All right, so I'm looking for my range. I can constrain at the top, right? So what's my range? 0 all the way to positive infinity. That's not what I'm looking for, so that's not it. All right, let's teach you how to do the absolute value. So let's go back to y equal to. Let's clear it. And the absolute value, you have to go to math. I call that my magical key. 90% of the time, if you need anything, it's on math. All right? I'm going to go to math, but then I'm going to jump to numeric. And then you see that one that says ABS? That's absolute value. So let's click on 1. You see the lines? All right, let's put the X and let's get out of the absolute value by scrolling to the right. And then we're going to say plus 4. And let's graph it. With me? All right, so we're looking for range, right? So range, is that from negative infinity to positive 4?
Yes.
From negative infinity, really?
No.
Where is negative infinity? What do you mean you can't see? What do you mean you can't see? Yes, you can see. Where is negative infinity? At the top or at the bottom? At the bottom. So yes, you can see. You don't need to see that. You just need to know that this is not negative infinity, that this is what? Positive infinity. So this is not it. So it has to be D. But let me show you how to do something on the calculator. Let's go back to y equal to, and I'm going to write that down. Don't clear it. Just go back to y equal to. You see how this is the same as that? I'm just going to put the negative 5 in front of it. So in order for you to put something in front of something or in the middle of something, you got to insert it. You see the delete? On top of it is INS. That means that you're going to insert, but it's in blue. So second, delete, negative 5. So you don't have to write everything all over again. It just inserted the negative 5. And now you're graphing. Now look at that. Does that go to negative infinity? Heck yes. That's your answer. All right? Let's go to the next one. I'm looking for a range of all real numbers. What does it mean to have a range of all real numbers?
Infinity.
It's from negative infinity to positive, so all the y's are included, right? All right, and range is y. I did like this, but it should be like that, right? It's up and down. So let's go ahead and graph. Let's go to y equal to. Clear that. 3. To write the exponent, do the little arrow pointing up. And then do the x. But then you got to jump out because you don't want her to write anything else as the exponent.
Can you do that again?
Yes, I sure can. 3. Press the little arrow, you see the arrow pointing down? Not down, up, and then you put the X, and then you jump out of it. And then plus 1. That microwave is like stuff. Alright, and now we're going to graph, right? Alright, does that include all your Y's? Nope, it sure doesn't. So this is not the answer. Alright, let's go to Y equal to. Let's clear it. 3x plus 1. And graph it. Does that include all your Y's?
No.
Why not? So it doesn't include all your Y's?
Oh. Yes.
We're looking at the wrong one. And I don't know how else to teach you that domain is X and range is Y. But if you don't have that clear in your head because you haven't learned it yet, then you're not going to be able to do this. So if you need to write it on your piece of paper, or you need to have your cheat sheet out that says XYDR, then go ahead and have it out. Because we still do not know what's domain and what's range. And I still don't see any cheat sheets out, so I guess we don't need them. It's okay. If we don't need them, I won't waste my time doing them. All right. So y equals 3x plus 1. That's my answer. All right. Which rational functions has a domain of all real numbers? So domain would be right and left. So that means all the x's. All of them. All right? So let's go to y equal to. Clear that and say 2 divided by x. And let's graph. Does that include all the x's? I think it does.
Yes, because it's on the
It goes all the way to 0. It's x's, not y's, right? Yes, look, it's all the way over here, then it comes that way, and then it goes up. It goes that way, then it comes up. So that's not it. All right, let's write this one. Be careful with this one when you write it, right? Because this is what happens. You have x squared minus 9 as a denominator. So you need to tell the calculator that all of it is denominator. And the way you tell the calculator that all of it is a denominator is by putting it inside parentheses. All right? So I need parentheses here and I need parentheses there because I got more than one thing on the denominator. I got a binomial. This is called a binomial. Two things. All right, so let's go to y equal to. So 1 divided by, and I open the parentheses, x squared minus 9, and I close the parentheses. Yay? And I'm going to do graph. Remember, I'm looking for all the x's. All the x's. So this came this way, went up, went down, came that way, went up, went down. All right, so can you tell me just by looking at the graph? Can you tell me just by looking at the graph? That I think it's a no. Very good. If you can't tell, go to the table. Let's go to the table. Look at this. We go to the table. Second and then graph. Look what happens on 3. It says it as an error. If I plug into 3, what's 3 squared? 9. And what's 9 minus 9?
0.
Okay, can I have one slice of pizza if I don't have a pizza? That doesn't make any sense, right? That's the part and that's the whole, correct? If you don't have a pizza, you can't eat pizza. So that doesn't exist. Having one out of nothing doesn't exist. Does that make sense? So that's why this is not all real numbers, because that number cannot be 3. It could also not be, I believe, negative 3. Look at that error on the negative 3. That means if you put in negative 3, you don't have a y. So yes, this is not all real numbers. Okay, so it's not B. Let's go back to y equal to. So 7x divided by parentheses, x plus 3, and then let's close the parentheses. And we're going to graph. What number do you think you cannot put in here?
3.
Thank you, because 3, or not 3, but what?
-3.
Thank you. What's negative 3 plus 3? 0. And can you have a 0 as a denominator? No. I'm going to go to the table. Look at negative 3. What does it happen? Error. That means it's not all real numbers. So the answer has to be what? D. All right. Let's go to the back. Are we good? All right. So this worksheet just kind of help us go to the y equal to and try to figure out if what's the domain and range. It's a good practice for it. All right. Limited domain. What does it mean to have a limited domain? It can be infinity. Very good. It can be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, domain would be right and left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that arrow. Or take your card out, have this in front of you like just that, so that you know that you're looking at right and left. It's probably a lot easier to go to the table, or you can go to the graph, and if you're not sure, then go to the table. And if you see some errors, that's not it, right? All right, so let's go to the first one. Y equals 3x squared minus 5. Uh-oh. And let's graph it. Any limitations on x? Can I constrain? I can? No, because it keeps growing. And as it keeps growing, what's going to happen to that top? It's going bigger, right? It starts really small and then it goes bigger, 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 bigger. So that has no limitation. So that's not it. That's not it. All right, let's go to the next one. Y equal to, y equal to negative 12. Remember how to go to absolute value? Math and then number and then 1, right? And we're going to write x plus 2, and then you get out of that absolute value to write plus 7. Are we good? Graph? All right, is it limited on x? No, it's not. It keeps growing, right? It's going to keep growing, so this is not it. All right, let's go to the next one. This one, y equals second square root x minus 2, and then I got to jump out of the square root, right? Don't put that minus 6 inside the square root. So minus 6, you see? I stopped it right there. Go to the right. And let's graph it. Let's graph it. Uh-oh. Does it include all the x's? It sure doesn't. Let's go to the table. Oh my God, look at all those errors. Tell her that Ms. McMiller told me to do that this morning. All right, so this is most definitely has a limited domain, right? That has a limited domain. Oh, is this going to have a limited domain? What cannot be x? 4, because 4 minus 4 is what? 0, so that has a limited domain, right? If that one had a limited domain, what do you think this one is going to have? Do you think, look at this one and look at that one. If that one had a limited domain, do you think this one will? It probably will because they both of them have what? Square root, right? Let's check. Let's check just to make sure. So second, 7 minus x and jump out, and then plus 2, and then we graph. Oh, do you see it? Heck yeah, it has a limited domain. So anything that has a square root will have a what? And everything that has an x at the bottom will have what? A limited domain. You see those x's at the bottom? All right, so we're learning patterns. Very good, my babies. All right, so let's do this one. Y equals 2x. That should be just a line. It should not have any limitations, right? No, not at all. No limitations. Y equals 4. Does it have any limitations on x? No. It does have limitations on what? On y. Very good. You see that? Good job. Very good, my babies. That makes me happy when you guys can understand. All right. So 2x to the third. The exponent. We did that already. Right? Practice with the calculator, my babies. Minus 5. Yeah, you guys are tripping. That's for sure. Minus 5x squared plus x minus 1. And then we're going to graph it. Oh, this is, all right. Do you have any limitations on x? No, it keeps going. Nope, 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 nope. There you go. All right, so those three? All right, let's do limitations on range now. So that would be up and down. Let's highlight range. Limited range. That's up and down. All right, let's go to this one. Y equal to? Uh-oh. X plus 4 and then jump out. On the y's? Looks like it is, right? I only see, now we're looking for y's, right? It is going to be limited, right? It starts where on y? On 2? On 0. Look, there's a point right there. It starts on 0 on y. Now let's go to the table to make sure. Uh-oh, there it is. Oop, there it is. So there's an error, right? All right, so this is limited, right? All right, that has a parentheses. Would you expect for this one to have limitations on y? This one right here, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good question. Which one? Because I'm not telling you which one. This one right here. That one, let's see. 1 divided by x minus 3. It definitely has them on x, right? All right, let's graph it. Let's see if it has them on y. Does it have them here?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's like right there. It starts like on the. On the. It starts. Yeah, it starts on 0, but on X it starts on 4.
Yeah, but we're looking at range. Stop talking.
That's where it starts on.
So does it have any limitations on range?
Oh no.
I don't think so.
Because it
I don't think so, because it keeps going and going. All right. Let's do this one. 5, and then math, number 1, x minus 1, jump out of the absolute value, plus 2. Limitations on y. Oh, whoa, whoa.
it is a limitation on y.
Why does it go to the negative numbers on y? So there's limitations on y, right? Where does it start? Is it all real numbers?
No.
No. So where does it start? It starts on 2? I think it starts on 2, right? So no, right? There are limitations. Does it cover the whole y? So it has limitations. So with the y, you got to be careful. Don't get it confused, babies. All right, let's do this one. 9 minus x cubed. No, x squared. Oh. It limited because it doesn't go all the way up. Very good, very good. So it's limited. On y it is. Let's do this one. Y equal to 4 to the x power. Uh-oh.
Yes, it's limited because it don't goes out negative
It doesn't go where?
to the negative.
Let's go to the table. I don't see any errors. I just see a lot of very small numbers, right? So you got to be careful with the graphs. I don't think it is. All right, let's go to y equal to. Let's do this one. Negative 3x. That should not have any limitations. That's a line. That's a regular y equals mx plus b, right? Any limitations on y? Heck no. Oh, what about this one? Are there any limitations on y? Y can only be what? 8. So yes, there are limitations on y. All right. Y equal to, let's do the last one. Log. There's a log right there. It's a logarithm. You learned that in Algebra 2 and in trigonometry. It's a logarithm. It's a pain in the hiney. That's all I got to say. It's so hard. I can remember that from high school. It was hard.
How do you go to it? Oh, I see it. Sorry.
And then you graph it.
Own it, go to.
All right. So I'm going to stop. Problem is you're talking while I'm talking and then you don't know where I'm going. All right. It kind of looks like it does, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to go to the table. Are there any errors? All right. So are the negatives? There you go. So yes. All right. We're going to leave these. We're going to leave these for later on. So put that in your notebook. We'll do this tomorrow. Let's go ahead and do our second worksheet. My paper, people. My paper, ladies. But thank you for trying to do your job. You just couldn't do it because I'm not on top of it today. All right, what time do you leave? All right. We got three exit tickets, so we need about 3 problems for exit tickets. No, 145. All right, let's go here. on me. Let's go ahead and start. Thank you. All right, so we did a little bit of this yesterday. You got to remember that f of x is function notation, right? And that f of x equals the same thing as y. And whatever is inside the parentheses is equal to your x. All right, you substitute it for your x. Yes, sir. To the what? I can't hear you. To the nurse. I got to sign one of those. Come on, let's go. I'm teaching, baby. Come on.
Oh, whatever f equals, that's what. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, so if x equals 2, because that's your x, right? How do I know? It's f of x. Whatever is inside the parentheses takes the place of your x. All right, if f equals x equals 2, what does y equal to?
4.
There you go. 4. What's wrong with you? All right. Shh. All right, so we got to find x when y equals 9.
Wait, what you at? Says, oh, that's number 2? Oh, okay. Y equals 9. Wait, it's not a 3 equals 4? Because the line is
It's equal 4.5. That's what I'm getting. 4.5.
Is 0? That's 0. So that's 2?
Yes.
Stop talking.
I think it's 4.5.
okay.
4.5? That point? Say that again. Thank you. It doesn't happen. Thank you. There's nothing. Because there's nothing on what? On y equals 9. There's absolutely nothing on it. All right. Do you have a y? Just leave it blank. There's nothing, right? Do you have a y-intercept? This is your y. Does that line intercept y? Heck no. Very good. Let's do the domain. Which, look, it tells you that is left and right. Are there limitations? Yes, they sure are. From what to what? 1 to 7. Does it include both of them? So brackets on both, right? Now, this is what's new today. I'm going to show you how to do it with inequality notations. All right? So today, this is the new part, besides the graphing, right, that we did, that was also new. We didn't do any of that graphing yesterday. You can write this as an inequality, which is probably the way that you're going to see it on the snapshot and on the test, okay? So this is what you do. You write it like this because that's the first one you learned, right? You always put the smaller number first. So domain are your x's, right? So you're going to put 1, x, and 7. And the inequalities are always in the same direction. X has to be bigger than, can it be equal to? Why not? Is it an empty circle? Is it an open circle? No, it's a closed one, so it could be equal to. But x has to be less than what? So the crocodiles will always eat that way. Always. Always. All right? Let's do the range. Limitations? Heck yes, right? It goes from what to what? From 2 to 7. All right, range is your y. So you write 2, y, and 7. Crocodiles always eat in the same way. And that's it. Wow, that was hard, right? Say that again? It is. Because you need more than one class, don't you? To kind of sink it in. Yes. All right. When x equals 1, what is y?
4.
Only 4?
No.
Very good. It has 2. 4 and? 4 or negative 2 or 4 and negative 2. It really doesn't matter. Just put 2 in both numbers, right? All right. So find x when this is y, right? When y equals 2. So let's see. When y equals 2, what is x?
0.
Nothing.
Okay, babies? No. No. When y equals 2, what is x? Thank you, Cornelius. Negative 3. Come on. All right. Domain. Negative 4 to positive 4. All right. So from negative 4 to positive 4, let's put it in inequality notation. Negative 4, x and 4 crocodiles eating the same way. That's it. But I'm going to tell you something. I cannot do this if I don't have these cards. It's really, now if you don't like the cards and you want to highlight it, that's fine. But it's really hard for me to do it without my darn cards. All right, so let's do range. From what to what? Add the smallest one first. Negative 3 to 5. And then negative 3, y, and 5. And then crocodiles eating the same way. Now look at what I'm going to do. We're going to have a little quiz tomorrow, okay? Look at what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to ask you for the range, but I'm going to put x's over here. Don't you dare pick those. Because range is not x. What is range? Y. So if I'm asking for range and there's some x's in your options, those should be the first ones that need to be what? Eliminated. I'm going to do it over here too. I'm asking for a domain and then I'll put some y's. All right? So be careful. The quiz has 10 questions, only 8 count. So I'm going to give you 2 of extra credit, but I'm not going to tell you which ones they are because the minute I do, you won't do them. Right? Oh, please. Oh, please. All right. Do we have time? Let's see if we can finish the last one. All right. When x equals 3. 3 and 5. Very good. All right. What is x when y equals 3? Y, I'm looking at the wrong one. 3 and 4. Very good. You guys were right. Ooh, there's no x-intercept in here, right? All right. Let's do the domain. Uh-oh. Can I restrain over here? No. So from domain, right and left, from 1 to what? To y negative. These are positives. I'm looking at x. See, guys, come on, babies, come on. All right, so because this has infinity, you technically cannot write it with inequalities. Because I cannot say smaller than or equal to infinity because there's a bunch of stuff that are what? All right, let's do the next one. Let's do the range. Range is up and down. So I can restrain it over here, but can I restrain it at the bottom? No. So where does, now this one is at where? At 9. And at no brackets because it's open, right? To what? Positive or negative infinity? There you go, my babies. Good job. Are we good? Yay? All right, so let's go ahead and, ooh, let's go to the back. We can do a little more. Let's do one more. Oh, this one's really easy. I'll show you how to do it in the calculator. All right. So the first thing that I do when I get things like this is I rewrite it as y equals 5 minus 7x, right? Because f of x is what? Y. f of x is the same thing as y. And then all I gotta do to figure out, you can just go to the table. Let's go to y equal to, and let's write that down. 5 minus 7x. Now I'm not going to the graph. Where am I going to? The table. And I'm looking at when x equals negative 3, what is y? And oh, look, there's right there. I'm even on the negative 3. If x equals negative 3, what is y? That's easy. You're done. Yay? All right, now look at this one. This is 3 times f of 2, which means when x equals 2, what is y? What is y? Negative 9. But it's how many times that negative 9? 3 times. So now I got to say 3 times negative 9, negative 27. All right. Now on this one, I got to find x when y equals negative 2. Ooh, it's right there. When y equals negative 2, what is x? 1. Yay? So all of these can be done with no actually math computations. Just go to y equal to, right? And go to those tables. That's all you got to do. All right? Let's clean up and let's pass out cover folders and exit tickets and all that good stuff.